And you know, when you're young, you just like make all these hypothetical plans. You're like, yeah, we'll have a few kids and then we'll adopt a few and it will be great. Like not knowing what any of that meant. But after a while, we knew like something was wrong because nothing was happening. So we were actively trying, I would say at least 3 years. It was something that I've been thinking about for what seemed like a long time.
After we got diagnosed with unexplained infertility, we basically started down multiple paths and just trying to figure out what was going to work for us. When we started talking actually about adoption, everything seemed to fit like a glove. Everything seemed to fit naturally.
But it was very disheartening when we knew we wanted to do adoptions. Like some of the first estimates I looked at were way beyond anything we thought we could afford.
It was very overwhelming. I remember just looking at that going, I don't know if we make that together annually. So just as a very real like shock.
It's so easy when you're going through something to internalize and think like, I'm going through this. This is really hard for me. But it's not about us. There's a child that needs to be in our family and they don't have anyone. Genetics, like, what are you gonna do? Like, sure, you want a kid that looks like you. No one really talks about it, but you do. Like, it's just a thing. You don't have to think about it. But sometimes there's things that are just more important than that.
Going, God, like, why are we going through this? Well, he goes, I went through something harder so that you could be adopted. Like, you're going through hardships naturally and financially. I went through something way worse and way harder because I want you. Even when we were trying to put money in our savings account, you know, realistically for this adoption, I still wanted to be purposeful in my giving, even around Heart for the House and Heart for the World. God, if you're going to take care of the bill, you're going to take care of the bill. Like, we're not splitting the check here. You've got to take care of this. So that's how we gave, was with intention and purpose behind it.
We found our agency.
The agency was actually really encouraging and saying, you know, there's hope, there's people out there, there's grants, there's people that are rooting for you and you don't even know. We're in classes, we're with a program, we're with an agency. Mm-hmm. We know how much the adoption is going to cost so we can start fundraising. Like, we were super hopeful.
February rolls around and we're like, hey everybody, we're adopting. We're gonna fundraise because you told us that
y'all got so much money. No. Pandemic.
Yeah.
People have such a heart for adoption. Even though there was a pandemic going on, we were actually able to raise 50% of our funds by July of 2020. We were just so in awe and shock of people's like generosity. She had applied for the grants during the summer of 2020. Mm-hmm. We actually didn't hear anything back until the following year. You know, you think when you're applying for these grants that like they're gonna give you some money.
I remember walking from the mailbox back to the condo and thinking, God, no matter how much this is, I'm gonna thank you. And so when I came, I'm like, okay, I got it. You know, we had this moment and we opened it and we're like shocked.
I actually had to like read how many zeros there were behind the 9 to realize that it wasn't just $900, it was $9,000. And we were like in just shock, in awe. I don't even know how to say how much of an encouragement that was to us. We are actually T-minus 3 days from leaving to go to Rochester for a week and a half, 2 weeks. And we're excited to go see family. We haven't seen them. You know, that's going to be our high.
2 years.
We haven't seen them in 2 years because of the pandemic. All of a sudden I see I have a voicemail. It's an adoption or pregnancy counselor calling saying she has a baby that needs a home. And I'm like, what? We've been in waiting for, no, this is.
We heard the phone call. I'm laughing. I'm like, this is a joke, right? This can't be real. We're about to leave. Like, this isn't it.
So I called the pregnancy counselor back and she's like, yeah, I just want to let you know about the situation and see if you were open to adopting this baby. She said, take some time, call us back.
So we hung up the phone and we like immediately hugged each other and started crying. And we called her back. Maybe 30 seconds had elapsed, perhaps, maybe 1 minute. And she thought we were calling to ask more questions. And we were like, yes. And she was like, oh, okay, great, because she's going to the hospital today to have her baby. And we're like, what?
Wait, what? When we got to hold her, like we were just in love. Like there's nothing better than holding your child. I'd do it all over again in a heartbeat, honestly. She was worth all of it. All the pain, all the long conversations, the financial stress, the worrying, the years of planning. She was literally worth all of it. And in that moment, yeah, there was...
It didn't matter anymore.
You know.
It's amazing. She's a miracle. We wanted to sign our adoption petition, and that's when they bring out, you know, all the paperwork and the itemized things, and you sign everything, and then they submit that to the court to get the ball rolling on your court date. They're like, all right, so here are the numbers, like here's what you owed. Like actually, you're gonna get some money back. And the amount of money that we got back because of the grants was like, I don't know, maybe $80 more than the money that we had
initially invested
our
to
own
go into it.
So this literally cost us nothing.
God literally footed the entire bill.
The entire thing. Unreal. Unreal.
It's a whole nother level of just gratitude. Not just how good our girl is, but just how good our God is, honestly.
God can do exceedingly abundantly beyond anything you can ask or imagine. And that's Brio.
Yeah. He doesn't just have good things like for us. He's got great things for us.
Have you ever considered what it would look like to get involved in caring for the vulnerable children and families in our city? Whether you are interested in foster care, adoption, mentoring, or serving foster families in tangible ways, we invite you to explore where your gifts and talents may be used.